Hi and welcome to CSM Mistakes Were Made. I'm Anita, and in today's video I want to show you how I dealt with two mistakes that I made on a pair of socks that actually I've since recranked a different version of these, but the first mistake you're going to see left kind of an unsightly hole, and it's rather amusing because I didn't recognize at the time that this mistake was made, that I had made it, until I got around to lifting some needles for the increases on the short row of the deep heel, and I recognized, oops, I must have made a mistake. And I kind of just went on my way and finished the sock, but that was there, so not super happy about that. The other mistake was actually on the same sock, the same part of the heel, but it was closer to the edge. And the mistake I made here, which you can't see because I think I successfully fixed it pretty well, was a drop stitch. And all crankers know that dropping a stitch on a short row that happens to have a wrap on it is dicey to repair. And I've been pretty successful in making it work. It may not end up looking like it never happened, but I've been pretty successful in salvaging a sock with a mistake in a short row. But this one I'm pretty proud of because I think I made it so it doesn't even show. So that was kind of fun. So before we get too far, I wanted to mention that these socks were cranked using what is by now a famous pattern by Sue Vanesky, and it's available by free download on CSM Supplies. The yarn I'm using is, it's a different colorway from this Felicia yarn. This one is called Yipes Stripes. I love that. And the colorway I'm using on these is called Lakeside Gelato. I just love this colorway. And I got two socks out of 150-gram skein, which it leads me to another point I wanted to make. A 50-gram skein of this yarn can yield two socks, just like I said. But one way to maybe help a little bit in winning at Yarn Chicken when you're doing these is to add a pop of color in a contrasting yarn, which is what I did with this really pretty, it's called Iris, and it's an active sock yarn colorway. And this was an idea that my friend Julie had. I just love this idea. Adding a little pop to the inside, it reminds me of a character on Modern Family, which was a very popular sitcom several years ago in the United States, and the character named Cam used to wear really beautiful button-down shirts, and the inside of his cuff was generally a contrasting pattern or color. I have to thank Julie for this idea, and I think it contributes to your ability to get two socks. Now, two socks out of 50 grams. I like to get a match, so I had the luxury of leftovers, a lot of leftover bits and pieces, because I started off with two 50-gram skeins, and this was the first pair of socks that I made. I'm not super happy with them because they're actually a little too big. But enjoy the video, and maybe you can learn something about how to dig out a drop stitch and add that little wrap back in so that you can fix a drop stitch inside short rows. Thanks for watching. The purple yarn is the pre-heel I cranked, and I'm now starting a +3 deep heel, lifting needles on each side and cranking rows, lifting needles and cranking rows. Now I'm getting close to where I make my first mistake, lifting a needle and cranking a row, and the stitches are starting to get a little bit tight and they're riding up, so I think that distracted me right at this spot where I forget to raise a needle on the right. I raise a needle on the left, but now I'm off, but I don't know it yet. So I'm going to add some heel forks, and I'm continuing on my way, lifting needles, and I'm talking about how I'm going to use my target needles as the boundary for a rounded toe. And this is when I come to the realization that I am off by one needle. Okay, I don't know what I did, but I'm going to just lift one instead of two because that one's already lifted. So I don't know what I did, but I'm gonna just go with it. All right, so we lower these two, and this for me is the heart, and I lost it. Okay, so we're talking a tiny nubbin right there. The chance of me actually grabbing the very stitch that fell off that needle is going away. Okay, so I've got, oh, that is interesting. I'm going to pull the nubbin out. Okay, so that was the one that got away. And then this one fell away, which gives me insight, strangely, into what is, when you drop an edge stitch like this, what's actually going on and how can you rebuild it? Okay, so I know I want to keep that. I know I don't want to drop, well, here's the thing. I'm going to take some more weights off. I'm going to take these weights off, and I think I'll take even the center weight, of course, and see what we got here. So this is the loop that will end up on this bare needle, which was part of an edge stitch that dropped. Okay, this is the thing I don't want to drop off. I'm going to try to pull that one off. Okay, so that's an important stitch. I'm going to take this little needle out. This is the one that dropped. Okay, so there it is. So I'm just going to build a stitch right on the needle that I'll be putting back. All right, so first job is try. Don't drop it, Anita, don't drop it. It's a signature move. Another signature move of mine is drop a stitch right off that I'm trying not to drop off. Okay, so I got that. I'm going to take this out for a second. I'm going to knit this in. Okay, I think that's that. Now, this one, I believe, okay, I think we did it. It was very interesting watching the train wreck happen. And I don't think I'd ever really observed this loop come off that needle. Oh, I think we did it. Thanks for watching the video, which showed a couple of things. It showed how easy it is to miss raising or lowering a needle. And it also showed how an edge stitch that you drop can be rebuilt. And give it a try if you drop a stitch in the middle of a short row. Just dig out what you can and try to rebuild. And then finally, I didn't really share how I did this, but I think this is such a cool touch with the contrasting inside of the hung hem of the heel tab. And if you want me to show you how I do the Russian join here, just make a comment and I can put together a video about how to join two yarns in such a short area of the heel tab. Again, thanks for watching. CSM Mistakes Are Made. My husband is outside sawing wood. He's sawing buckthorn, and I'm sorry, that's going to be in the background.